Superdome in New Orleans. This is Madden Football on EA Sports. We'll see Andy Dalton and the New Orleans Saints taking on Marcus Mariota and the Atlanta Falcons.
The first opened back in 1975. There's a look inside the iconic Superdome in downtown New Orleans.
Today, we've got an NFC South matchup between the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints. And a welcome in, everybody, with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, so much gets made about offensive comparisons. Here's a matchup where the defenses may just take center stage.
Yeah, we're usually talking about guys scoring touchdowns. How about the guys who prevent them and change the momentum of the game when they take the ball away? I love those ball hawks in the secondary. People after my own heart.
Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32.
So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time.
And they'll be led out by Marcus Mariota, former second overall pick back in 2015, now in his 8th season in the league.
We're seeing it more and more in this league, how teams love to have athletes back there taking the snaps, guys who can throw it and move around and get yardage with their legs if needed. He's one of the best examples that we see out there right now. He can throw for hundreds of yards one week and then run for 100+ the next. He adds an extra dimension that really confounds defenses when he puts it all together.
Mariota's throw taken in by London.
And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. A good safe pass there right off the bat.
That's almost a rhythm play. That's what we like to call it. Get them into rhythm early, something safe, something they're confident about, something they feel good. And once that's completed, then you just keep moving from there because the confidence elevates.
On first down, going back to Patterson.
And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Here's Patterson again. Well, they nearly sprung him that time as he takes this all the way down to the 37.
It's a gain of 11, and the Falcons pick up the first.
They did tell us they wanted to establish the ground game early, didn't they?
They did, and a small sample size that we've seen so far, but pretty good return.
Yeah, you got to like that. They've strung together a couple of first downs, established what they wanted, the running game. And guess what? They also got their lead guy running it pretty well, too.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep.
And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Well, I sure wouldn't be surprised if we see more of this as this game goes on, because we know they like to use their wideouts either on quick throws or on jet sweeps like what we just saw there. And to say that that one worked well, partner, that's stating the obvious.
Toss left side, Patterson.
And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Cordero Patterson, 30 yards.
And the Falcons will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. And that CD, one heck of a run. He just refused to go down.
And that's where determination comes in, because he had at least a couple of guys had really good shots at him, but he just said, I don't think so. Speed, power, elusiveness, all on display right there. Look like you, partner, back in your salad days in Evansville.
A try here for the extra point. Oh, and now they're going to fake it.
And he'll be out of bounds well short of the goal line, so the attempt at the fake extra point unsuccessful.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you don't like that call on the opening drive of the game.
It's a very strong limb that you're out on right now. Okay, look, the game between college and the NFL continues to creep closer, but that is truly a college play, not an NFL play. Because you'd snap the ball from the 3-yard line there, whether it's going for 1 or going for 2. So it makes sense to try it that way to maybe fake it. In this case, from the 15, makes 0 sense.
And now your lead's just 6-0 instead of 7-0. On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. And oh, right away, he lost the football. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
The first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted.
And the Falcons are going to take possession of the football.
And I think this is a situation where a quarterback coach in the sideline is going to talk to a signal caller and say, listen, it's 3rd and long, and it's still early in the game. Let's not force things here. If we don't feel good about it, let's just check something down and punt the football.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
1st and 10, it's Patterson.
And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Cordero Patterson with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter.
And the Falcons are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the 1st quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognized it.
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
Koo able to connect on the extra point. And the lead now stands at 13. And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21.
New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their 2nd drive. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan, or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
They begin on the ground with Kamara. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line.
That's the corner. A.J. Terrell getting up and stopping him for a loss.
Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Now Dalton. He gets it left side to Johnson. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run, because we envision them in offenses catch the ball. How much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. Just enough to get the first down there with a 1-yard pickup.
We ought to come up with a T-shirt and sell it that says, no indecision on 3rd and 1. And we didn't see it on that run, did we? Got his shoulders square, just got right into the line of scrimmage and picked it up.
Absolutely. Picked his lane, went with it, and converted. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. And Dalton to throw. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7. Well, you're already up a couple of scores here in the first half defensively, and Charles, they just seem to be playing really free on that side of the football.
I love the observation, because with that type of a lead, they feel like they can take a few more chances and be even more aggressive. And it's been paying off for them so far this game.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Another try after the first down sack. Dalton. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7. 13-0 is the score after 1 on EA Sports. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Dalton now to pass. Completing it to the right side, Johnson. They'll get 19 out of this, but it will still bring up a 4th down.
I don't know how many times, not just in my playing career, but you and I working together, have we ever heard a coach say, you know, I just don't have that play on my call sheet? And that's really what we had here. That was a big hole they were trying to get out of.
Yeah, big gain, still a ways to go, though. Blake Gillikin on to punt now on 4th down. Avery Williams deep for Atlanta. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. We'll bring out the Falcons offense once more. Cordero Patterson ready to go again at running back. He's in his zone. 2nd quarter already closing in on a 100-yard game.
And that's the magic number for a running back. Anytime you get to that triple digits, that's all you're looking for. But he's got a chance to really exceed that in this one.
Yeah, he does. That's been the gold standard for a long time, hasn't it, that 100-yard mark?
It really has, and that never has to shift because it's in a game. It's a 1,000-yard mark. I'm wondering, since we've gone from 12 to 14 to 16 games, maybe we need to up that a little.
And that one a little too high as it's knocked away and incomplete.
While the ultimate result was an incomplete pass, they sure look like a well-coached team, because once you get outside of the pocket, the scramble rules come into effect. And a lot of the guys who ran deep routes, they come back closer to the line of scrimmage, and the running back usually runs a check down. He took it deep, and they gave it a big shot and came up unsuccessful.
Yeah, this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed, because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
Now Mariota on 4th down. And it's
It's incomplete. They could not convert, and they turn it over. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And now possession's going to go over with a football at the 20-yard line. And, Charles, they just handed them a gift. Going for it there, that spot of the field inside the 20, boy.
Yeah, sometimes you think you've got plenty of time in a game, so you take a little bit of a crazy risk. This goes in the category of a crazy, crazy, crazy risk.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm giving you 3 on that one. But how about on the deep?
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage.
That one on the guard, Cesar Ruiz.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Here's Dalton. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Johnson. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
Behind the sticks here with a 2nd and 15.
To throw here, Dalton. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Landry. They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4. The Saints on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. And this is going to be incomplete.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield, but they had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
The kick by Lutz is good. And they will indeed get on the board here, but still trailing. It's now 13-3.
So the starting field position was terrific following the surprising turnover on downs, but the end result, only 3 points.
Simply stated, I think you have to look at that as a missed opportunity.
From out of his end zone, it's Avery Williams. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34.
And here now come the Falcons.
They're coming off a 4th down gamble that last drive that backfired, CD, but really not as badly as it could. Their defense held up and only gave up 3 points.
And what they wanted to do is play off the momentum the defense gave them. Only giving up the 3 points in that situation after they failed on 4th down. Now they want to make it pay off. They want to pay homage to the defense and have their own drive pay off in points for themselves.
And he'll work this one up to about the 38. Give him 4 yards there on the first down keeper. From the 38, Mariota. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Now Mariota. Flush to his right.
And that is incomplete. Oh, he did everything but hold on to it. But a nice play defensively, and now it brings up 4th down.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on 3rd down.
4th down, Mariota.
Got his man. It's London. And he is going to have a Falcons first down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive.
That's a 4th down pickup of 10 yards and an opportunity certainly missed on the defensive side. Patterson running between the tackles. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Second and 11. To throw is Mariota. He's got a man, complete, touchdown. Olamide Zaccheaus, 53 yards. And his guy's now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. And that time he came out of the slot for that big play downfield for the score.
I think what we just saw there, partner, was what we call scheming a guy open. Put him in the slot, know that he has tremendous speed. What you're doing with your other receivers is likely running shorter routes to draw the attention closer to the line of scrimmage, to give him a chance to get downfield and turn it into a one-on-one route, often against the safety. You like your odds when he's running against the safety. His speed usually wins, and it did on that play.
Extra point by Koo, up and good. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Now Pinion with the kickoff honors following the touchdown. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. The New Orleans offense set to take over. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Now Dalton with a 1st and 10. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Lorenzo Carter from his outside linebacker spot, forcing the sack for a loss of 8. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's a game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Dalton, a hit as he throws there, incomplete.
And this drive is almost over before it began thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on 1st down, followed by an incompletion. One more good rep, and they get off the field.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Coming left is Kamara. And it's out. He put it on the carpet, and the Falcons grab it. So they take over not only in enemy territory, but in the red zone at the 16-yard line.
Do you remember in preseason we were going to the different training camps and visiting teams, and we always would see the running backs working out and going through those gauntlet drills, and, you know, guys either slapping at the ball or the machines. You got to learn to take care of it.
Yeah, they lost it there. Big fumble. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And now following that turnover, they've got an opportunity here to try to cash in with good field position before intermission. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. To throw Mariota. Got a man, it's Patterson, complete. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling. Held it to an okay.
This to Pitts, and he's got him. Touchdown, Atlanta. Kyle Pitts, an 11-yard touchdown. And the Falcons continue to pull away here in this first half.
They have really had their way so far in the first half, but they wanted to continue to build on their lead. They know that no lead is safe in this league, so they decided to try their best to get one more as they headed into the half, and they got it done.
Now Arthur Smith going to tell the offense to stay put. We're going for 2. Mariota will look to throw. And he is into the end zone to bump the lead up 2 more. He hits the big target for the 2-point try. Defenses hate those guys, especially around the goal line.
It's hard to decide who you're going to put on him. Are you going to put a smaller corner on him? Are you going to put a safety who doesn't have maybe the same coverage skills? How about a linebacker? He may have the size, but he's not used to really covering in space. That's why the tight end gives you such a great advantage when you're throwing the football.
And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. He's just been looking for some space. I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about it.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
They'll get this out to Kamara. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. 2nd and 6. No, scratch that. 2nd and 7. Andy Dalton. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Yeah, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete.
Well, obviously searching for their first touchdown this game, partner, and that quick 3 and out, that's not going to achieve that at all. Give victory to the secondary there. They brought out tight coverage on that 3rd down snap.
Looking up into the roof, and he muffs it. It's loose.
And that's what friends are for.
Right. As the returner, you know who you're buying dinner for later.
Oh, without a doubt, because he just took care of you and your team in a big way. You know, you turn it over there, that's a big momentum changer and put your defense in a bad spot.
A little under 30 seconds to go. We'll see how they play it here on 1st and 10. He's going to float this over the middle deep. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
But one thing we certainly know, he likes to take those risks deep downfield during games, coverage or not. The coverage was there on that one. No catch, but he's also fortunate. No turnover either.
And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after the last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first 2 throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on 3rd down to get their momentum going again.
And he is going to have first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half.
They'll go again with Patterson.
And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everyone, to our brand-new studios here in downtown Orlando in the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one is maybe not exactly in the bag yet, but there is definitely a big mountain to climb in this third quarter. The teams are already back out there, so let's not waste any time as we'll turn it back over to Brandon Godden.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Saints going to go on offense first, and they trail here as we begin quarter number 3.
And this will not be returned, so the second half begins with a touchback. And the Saints set to go here to begin the third quarter. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history, and that's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one. Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Dalton.
He'll get this one underneath to Kamara.
And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Here comes the Falcons offense. It's their first possession of the second half now.
The first half definitely went their way, and this would seem to be a great opportunity to kind of put this game a little closer out of reach with a score here.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful opportunity for them, because if they can add 7 more to their lead before the other guys even see the football, that could be the decisive blow in this game. I think that's how they're eyeing it. That's how they're approaching it.
They're going to start the drive here on the ground with Patterson. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line.
117 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
He's turning in a pretty impressive performance running the football, and a big reason why they have this nice lead.
And in days gone by, we would clip this out and put it up on the refrigerator. When we clip out the box score, nowadays, not too many newspapers out there. Maybe you screenshot it online.
Once more, they turn to Patterson.
And he's got a good gain of 7 up to the 37.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Throwing on 2nd and 3. Mariota escaping the pressure right. That's brought in downfield by London. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints 36. A very solid gain of 27.
And if anyone thinks they're just going to tuck their horns in and pull back off the throttle a little bit, you can forget it. Even with this big third-quarter lead, I think this team's going to continue to take their shots downfield, and there's another completion.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second-half blowout material. Mariota to throw it. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone, and that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Marcus Mariota with his 3rd touchdown pass of the afternoon, and the Falcons are pouring it on. Boy, another score. This lead gets even bigger. And, Charles, we haven't even hit the 4th quarter yet.
Well, forget the deficit, right? They're really not going to cut into that a heck of a lot. But how can they get out of here with some dignity? Can they get a stop or two? Can they make a play on offense themselves? Anything to start to feel better about what's happened to them here in this one.
Now Arthur Smith going to tell the offense to stay put. We're going for 2. They'll look to throw. And this is going to be caught. Well, not sure about the need to go for 2, but they get it and extend this lead out even further. So they go with a pass there on the 2-point try and able to convert it, Charles.
And a good job by the offense figuring out their 2-point play and using it well. It's interesting how people are using the strategy nowadays, though, isn't it?
It really is, and I don't know how much that particular play factored in, but with the PAT moving back in 15-16, that kind of changed things, didn't it?
It's really a part of everyone's strategy now. When I talk with coaches and when we sit with them, they always talk about they actually have 2-point periods in practice now, something they never really did before.
And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The Saints again ready to go on offense. The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10. Although a jet sweep to start the drive. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
Now it's Kamara in the passing game. And some space here. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run. Well, still in the 3rd quarter here. Now you look at the scoreboard, that deficit probably a little too much to overcome, but completions like that may be something to build on for future weeks.
Yeah, it's all about ending things on a strong note here, isn't it? Because my mindset is it's a new ball game from here to the end. Make sure it's a good one and close it out.
From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Kamara up the middle, and he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. We're just looking at the scoreboard and where we're at in the 3rd quarter. I don't know that it's going to matter much at this point, CD, but these small runs on the ground, they're not going to get it done.
No, they're not, and right now, the guys stopping the run have been superior in this ball game, giving them no openings, no seams, and now they've got this game well in hand.
Passing, it's Dalton. Ball had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
So out come the Falcons now. The last time out, they had to march almost the full length of the field for their touchdown. So here, much easier, Charles, with this better starting field position.
I love your sarcasm, but I love even more your observation because, look, what they did last time out, now with a shorter field, they should have a lot of confidence that they're going to put more points up on the board.
And that'll be incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the third quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
Now he's going to throw deep right side. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. It's a big play there for Atlanta. 44 yards. Sometimes the one-handed catches are unnecessary, but he was trying to ward off the defender with the other, so maybe that was just a good play.
So that tells you that not only do they imagine those types of catches, they actually work on them with defenders jostling them in order to keep their concentration and haul it in.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Straight ahead, Patterson. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. 134 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Algier is into the end zone. It's a Falcons touchdown. Just power football there down near the goal line. Give it to him. He's able to push his way across.
Yeah, they went heavy there. Sometimes you have those big offensive linemen come in, have to report like they're eligible, but all they're doing is getting a good stance, blocking, and getting their runner across the goal line.
Up to the line, Mariota. His guys will go for 2 here. They'll try and run it up the middle. And they are 3 for 3 on 2-point conversions as he is into the end zone for the score. And they're able to ground it in there on the 2-point try. And you and I were talking before the game that 2-point conversions from the 15-16 season, what has changed, what hasn't changed, partner?
Yeah, I'll tell you what's changed is just your normal strategy, because now you're either kicking the football with the ball on the field, or if you decide to go for...
Oh, a little cruel here. They're going to go for the onside kick up big. And the Saints hands team able to rein this one in. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Here's Dalton. And now the ball's out. Fumble
still near midfield. Second time in this game, Charles, the ball has squirted out from his hands. Luckily, his teammate was there to pounce on it.
You're right. Got the lucky bounce, able to retain possession. You know, we often talk about the combine and why do we measure quarterbacks' hands. Is that really a big deal? It's for situations like this. Do you have the hands big enough and strong enough to hold on to the football while being jostled?
After the sack, oh, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's second and a country mile. So Dalton now. And he's got the hook up to Landry.
I like the thought process. I like the design, but I think he may have waited a little too long to spot his man, because if you're going to run that drag route, you've got to put it on him and let him turn upfield. Instead, he waits until his receiver's too close to the sideline, and they don't get the yards after the catch.
And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. It'll be a loss of 2 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
He was able to get away initially on that play, but ultimately not much space to roam.
Great job there by them containing him, because you mentioned he got away initially, and how many times does that end up with a guy taking off for 15 or 20 yards? Here, the support was there, and they made the tackle for a loss.
Here comes the Saints punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. Atlanta now coming out on the field.
They've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the 4th quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted, so they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can.
Again, Patterson.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down. Well, at this juncture, CD, you normally see teams pack in the passing game. They've got the huge lead. Not them, though. They're still taking their shots.
I remember reading in past history, there was a college football coach in the Hall of Fame whose nickname was Close the Gates of Mercy. But he wasn't really big on that. He was big on going ahead and scoring. He's kind of reincarnated right here. We're watching it in front of us.
And they're going to fake it from deep in their own territory. And this is incomplete. A huge gamble, and it does not pay off. They fake the punt. It doesn't work out. And, boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone.
The New Orleans offense back out and ready to go. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage, because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
4 yards on the play. That's going to lead to 1st and goal. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. Throwing. throwing. Dalton. On the check down, he finds Kamara. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Only a yard of the completion. It's 2nd and goal.
And that's a good job there by the corner. And we do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
2nd and goal from inside the 5. Looking to throw. Dalton. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Lorenzo Carter able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Partner, my vocabulary isn't that great, but to me, there's only one word that fits this front 7 today, and that's dominant. 4 and 5 sacks is already rare in one game. Getting to more than 6 in one contest while winning by this many points, an absolutely astounding effort by every player involved.
This defense has not surrendered a touchdown yet. You better believe they're determined not to here on. And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big.
Well, CD, they just haven't had a whole lot to cheer about or really grasp onto in this game. They've been dominated, but at least they get a late touchdown here, something positive to put on film for tomorrow's session.
Yeah, they're still trying to execute, trying to get some positives on their board and ledger sheet and keep this from being a total loss. Give them credit. They're going down fighting.
Will Lutz on for the point after. And they make the score a little bit more respectable here in our final quarter of play. The drive summary that time, 5 plays.
And it's Jarvis Landry who finishes it off with a touchdown reception.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
From the end zone, here comes Williams. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point.
Now Patterson to start the drive.
And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line.
And even 150 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down.
Patterson, he'll try it up the middle.
And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've got to hit the jackpot there.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
us, for my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. Till next time, we say so long from the Bayou.